All right, welcome to SML News Yugi, broadcasting live from Kampala, the headquarters or the capital city of Uganda. Tonight, in a different language of communication and a different topic, on this special show, the Crisscross, will be discussing the subject of corruption. One most talked about and most feared by the corrupt, most talked about by the non-corrupt, but poorly fought by both. And with me are great men from the Global Anti-Corruption Initiative, men who have chosen to take a very delicate path. On my left is my brother Moses Kakama from Ankole, and Apollo Nyabongo from Bunyoro.
Yes.
So you said what's the area between Ankole and Bunyoro? Toro. So I'm Toro now. So Impago Yangi, Arali, and I welcome all of you to this great show. Let's start from
I'm Kakama Moses, the Executive Director, Global Anti-Corruption Initiative, a civil society organization registered by URSP to fight corruption.
Welcome.
Nyabongo Oyo Apola, my names. I would like to take this opportunity that SML has invited us to come and speak about issues to do with corruption in this country. I thank you so much.
Let's start from you, Nyabongo. You know, corruption is broad. Let us look at the word itself. If we ask to define corruption, how would you?
Yeah. Legally, the interpretation of the word corruption, anybody would define it in his own or her own way. But literally, corruption is evil, is something that is done and it is not entertained anywhere by the citizens. For example, if you engage yourself in a corrupt activity, you are trying to disenfranchise or to remove what the citizens would get. So corruption is something that bars citizens from getting what they are intended to get. For example, if it is service, people are not getting services, money is being corrupted. And I can define it in different ways, but the laws of Uganda also defines under the Interpretation Act. You would read what is corruption in its literal meaning. So that's how I can define it. It's something that is evil, something and not what the public can consume. You deprive a person or the citizens their right to access to public services. So that's corruption.
Because you say that it's defined differently.
Yes.
Let me hear Kakama define it.
Yes, corruption is defined as a situation whereby you find a public officer using the power entrusted him to deliver service, and instead of delivering service to the public, he uses resources available to him for his personal gain.
I'll look at corruption as any influence that deters, reduces, deprives anyone, anywhere, from enjoying a service rightfully.
Yes.
That in somehow you may influence by money, you may influence by word, you may influence by relationship, that somebody is rightly supposed to be appointed in a particular office is not appointed, simply because there was a call of Gamba Nogu for some reason. Even if there was no money in between, money exchanging hands, I would just think that is corruption. So like you said, corruption is broader. The Baganda call it obulibwenguzi, but they also obukenuzi. Obulibwenguzi would mean a bribe. Obukenuzi would mean abbreviation, Ken Romot would mean squeezing someone against their will to produce something. That's how I would look at it. So I'm like you said, we would define it differently and we understand it differently. Can we now look at corruption in Uganda? Just how serious, how big is the problem here? Mr. Kakano.
Yes, corruption in Uganda has been growing over time, which is very dangerous. Uganda, when you go to global corruption index, is ranked as number 140 out of 180. And it is not going down, it is instead increasing.
Our rank is 140.
Yes, out of one of the most corrupt countries in the world. Uganda. They can bring the statistics here and you see.
140
yes, statistics
out of 180.
Yes.
These are global rankings.
Global rankings by different.
With that part.
Yes, we are bad, even more than. You can as well see that we are actually in a big challenge. These are rankings. Uganda's corruption indices. Uganda continues to face significant challenges with public sector corruption, holding a stagnant score of 26 out of 100 on the 2024 Corruption Perception Index, CPI, ranking it 140 out of 180 countries globally. It is recognized as one of the most corrupt East African community nation, with the policies, judiciary, and land services identified as highly corrupt sectors. Key data on corruption in Uganda, 2024-2025 reports, CPI scores, Uganda scores 26 out of 100, stagnant since 2022. Global rank 140th to 142 second out of 180 countries. Regionally ranking fourth most corrupt in the East African community. Trend, the score has remained stagnant since dropping from 28 in 2019 to 2026 in 2022. You can see.
So there is no question we are a corrupt nation.
Yes.
Now,
and unless something is done, Uganda is going to dogs.
Let us look at this corruption. This corruption let us now go to specific categories. Do we give so many bribes? Do we do a lot of misappropriation, diversion of public funds, extravagance and abuse? What is that what's the worst one case of it?
The worst one is that lack of political will is number one. Uganda has many institutions funded with structures, but when it comes to political will, there is a problem. Two, politicians, well-connected politicians, are protected by high authorities, thus making it difficult for anti-corruption agencies, both civil and government, to touch the untouchables. You have many examples. So, the biggest challenge we have, and I think it is becoming, day and night, it is becoming more complex. As we speak, many Ugandans are quiet. Institutions meant to fight corruptions are totally disappointed. They are stuck. Because now well-connected individuals, it is very risky now in Uganda to really, do or investigate someone well-connected who has taken, who have swindled government resources. And it is now, we have reached an extent whereby it is almost being taken as the only way Recently, last night I was reading and making research, and it is now as if the country is now moving towards the level of taking corruption as a day-to-day activity or one of the public service delivery. Yeah.
Are the individuals most corrupt or institutions?
Both. Yes. When you look at police, for example, when you look at the judiciary,
as an institution.
yes, when you look at, they are captured here, and we can as well. You can go and research.
So by your rankings, the most. Okay,
yes.
Let's start from institutions. Which one is the most
institutions?
Corrupt?
The first corruption is the police. It is police.
The judiciary.
Police, but the most corrupt institutions.
But Parliament is one of the most corrupt institutions,
yeah.
because appropriations of public resources is done by Parliament. You saw the budget committee money was, people were negotiating how much should a certain entity of government be budgeted before you first give a bribe. You give what? A certain percentage. Parliament is one of the most corrupt institutions. I don't know why it was not ranked, but to me, I believe Parliament is one of the most corrupt. They pass budgets, money is appropriated to different entities of government. What happens with that money as an oversight institution of government? What does Parliament do? So these MPs, we have issues. By the way, some of the people are saying the voters, some voters are like their members of Parliament. And I was trying to investigate that issue. I found out it is true. Because if you elect an MP who has bribed the people to go to Parliament, what do you expect? Yeah, you have corrupted the voters and you're a member of Parliament. So you're going in an institution to do with oversight functions, budget allocations. What do you expect? Do you expect to perform miracles? So to me, I believe Parliament is one of the most corrupt institutions. Yes.
So but in corruption in this case, you're talking about Parliament being corrupt by
policy. For example, legislation. How can Parliament bring a law on the sovereignty bill with the clauses that Parliament knows are against the wishes of the Ugandans? And then they pass a law hurriedly, even without doing consultation. Citizens will be engaged on this sovereignty bill, filing memorandums.
They held the public meeting.
Did they take considerations of the views and opinions of the citizens in regard to this bill?
Perhaps because when you appear, you appear and give opinion. They are not bound by any law to take your opinion. Because whatever you're giving are views. You give, I give, you gives.
Yes.
We do not have a law that forces them to check up.
But the Constitution of Uganda, which is the supreme law, has got specific articles. For example, you cannot make a law that deprives or infringes on people's rights and freedoms. So if Parliament is enacting laws, they should take cognizance of the fact that citizens have aspirations. Make a law that is pro-people, not a law which is against people and you're being... You see, may I have issues with members of Parliament. I don't know, maybe... Do we have a Parliament that is effective as a legislative arm of government? If you brought a scorecard of Parliament itself, how many MPs? To me, I believed that that Parliament, even the 11th Parliament, had almost not more than 50 MPs. Though Uganda has got 529 members of Parliament. But the real members of Parliament were not more than 50. So the rest even discuss bills they don't understand. They pass laws they don't understand. These are issues Ugandans should speak about. Parliament is an arm of government, a law-making body. Most of these laws that the Parliament passes should be pro-people laws. So cabinet comes up with a policy or directives of cabinet, or these bills, they emanate from cabinet. But my issue is, do we have parliament as effective as it would be? First of all, even the size of parliament is big. They're increasing MPs representing elderly. That is also a cost, by the way.
But you know, when you say the MPs pass laws that are not pro people, these people, MPs are the people.
Yeah, but do they represent?
Behind every MP, there is a minimum of 10,000 votes on average. So when you see 500 members of parliament, and behind each of them are just the type of
Do they collect the views from their constituencies? What they debate in parliament, they get those opinions from.
We are sure they have consulted their people. Because people are not complaining. No one is complaining that we are misrepresented.
People complained. Do you know how many MPs lost? 296 MPs have not gone back. Look at the statistics of the 11th parliament. 296 MPs have lost.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think people have not spoken?
They have spoken. But they voted others. We are
Now
not sure that those they voted are better than those they exited.
So you see, the challenge we have in Uganda, what I'm saying is that executive is growing influence. The influence of the executive is even superseding the powers of the people.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the percentage of the executive vis-a-vis the percentage of the population of the country, and then you find that the executive want to take the powers of the population. Then you know that there is a problem in the country.
Okay.
Now, parliament is like a hostage. I was in town the other day when they passed the bill. Every road that leads to parliament was concealed. Police everywhere, military everywhere, and then you wonder, is the bill under debate a pro-people bill? Or it is someone's bill or some section of people's bill. So, where we have reached as a country, people no longer want to speak. Though the few who can speak are at a very high risk. You saw how even Matembe, when she was coming up as I think the first or second citizen to break the silence, how she spoke. So I am speaking, I know they can come and arrest me, but angels will protect me. So it's not even assured of what? Of her security immediate after speaking. Yesterday I was with one of the members of parliament who was parking and leaving the office in parliament. And said, how did we reach here? Honorable Sechikubo.
He's also wondering how they got.
Yes, how did we reach here? No, he was asking us, those who were around. The biggest question to him was, how did we reach here and how are we going to end? He's parking after serving like 5 Bisanjas in parliament.
Good time for you.
Yes.
Did you miss it?
No,
Good time for him.
No, he has made his contribution.
Within that, if in that 25
and he was satisfied.
years, he has not changed so much.
No, he has tried to make sure that he, debate pro people, or he has done his part in trying to make sure that laws being passed by parliament.
It's a great success. I've participated in elections twice.
So you could see that he was a frustrated man.
After 5 terms.
Yeah. And he told us that he chose that way after refusing some political arrangement which he refused to attend to, and then he was forced to exit, and he exited.
You believe him?
Yes, why not? Because as a politician, as a lawyer, he was really, telling us what we know. No, the biggest problem we have in this country is that we have reached an extent. We have reached an extent where debating issues that affect the country is now becoming a no-go zone. Where we are now. And I want to appreciate His Excellency the President in his early years. And I believe that the reason he has ruled this country for 40 years is that he gave Ugandans freedom of speech to a certain level. That's why he has persisted. But where we are going, I don't really see the future of Uganda as a person.
So, let me now understand how you come in. So what is this Global Anti-Corruption Initiative?
Global Anti-Corruption Initiative.
Because corruption must be fought by government.
No, Global Anti-Corruption Initiative is a civil society organization. We are a non-state actor. So state, you see, this way before, we need to get the parameters clear. We have got a state which is composed of the police, the army, the security agencies. That is a state. We have got
anti-corruption agencies.
Yes.
The Inspector of Government.
We have got the Inspectorate of Government, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, the CID, Criminal Investigations Department. We have DPP, many others, including State House Anti-Corruption Unit. There is a unit in State House created by the President as a unit to fight corruption. The question would be, regardless of all these institutions, the state has put in place, as I have explained, fully funded by the taxpayers' money. Have they done what Ugandans expect them to do? My answer would be no. If these institutions are funded by the state, at least corruption levels in Uganda would be reducing. We are moving on an increasing level of corruption, not on reducing parameter. So, if you fund a project and money is being stolen, can the donor continue funding or withdraws the funding? I think what is the president is the appointing authority. He appointed the brigadier general. It's okay to head the anti-corruption, State House Anti-Corruption Unit. We have got the new IGG, Kamia left and the new one has been appointed with other directors. And the DPP and what? What are the challenges of these institutions? Maybe inadequate funding may be one of the issues. It's a broader, these are big institutions of government, but if you underfund an institution of government, do you expect them to deliver? Impactful as a state. I think the president, these would be the issues that he would be inquiring. What are the challenges of these institutions? Secondly, even with a minimum funding, why would you see an institution like State House Anti-Corruption created? President can even tomorrow create another institution. I don't know what he will call it. You have IGG, you have DPP.
Yes, his names. What
you create, you keep creating institutions.
And funny enough, you find that those unconstitutional institutions are carrying more weight.
Why do you call them unconstitutional?
No, they are not constitutional.
Yeah.
Yes, when you look at, for example,
State
the
House
State House
is constitution.
How?
Is it?
How?
State House is constitution.
No, how?
It is in a parliament. There shall be a president of the Republic of Uganda.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
There shall be an office of the president.
Mm-hmm.
State House is his home.
Mm-hmm.
So under his home, he has children who he chooses to name differently.
No.
And send for home tasks.
No,
that's what I look
those
at.
are- that's
Mr.
not
Manja, I
a
would ask you, State House Anti-Corruption Unit, it is a unit, not even a department, not an agency, a unit under State House created by the appointing authority, the president. Constitutionally has a mandate to appoint. But have you tried to check the mandate of that unit vis-a-vis the IGG and the DPP?
That's what I want to say.
That would be, don't you think that this institution has superseded its mandate beyond those legally
Yes.
provided bodies of
Yes,
government.
and they went on even to check the powers of the Directorate of Ethics and Integrity, which is a supervisor to them. That is where we have reached. Trying to interfere, meddle in every anti-corruption agencies. You can even find them going to check the IGG.
So let me add, you guys don't understand and appreciate the job that the anti-corruption State House has done.
No, what I'm saying,
You have not seen them assemble people in court,
you see where,
have them prosecuted,
what
convicted, and imprisoned.
what we want is that what we are saying is that different institutions have, in fact, there is a problem. Coming up with many institutions is also one of the leading problems why even corruption is not ending here in Uganda.
Duplication
Yes,
of
duplication
duties.
of
So, okay,
institutions.
maybe the question will be, what does this unit do that IGG
Does
cannot
not
do?
do.
Two, how do they collaborate? Who reports to who?
Exactly.
These are issues.
Exactly.
I thought those appointed there are given those under the instruments of appointment. I will take an example. Mr. Simon Muyanga Utaya, you have been appointed to head the anti-corruption unit of State House. Your duties shall include the following. You report to the President as your primary supervisor. Your mandate will include ABCD. You'll be remunerated and facilitated in this way to deliver your mandate. So is that missing?
Yes.
In
Yes,
establishment
first of
this
all,
role?
we don't understand clearly the mandate of State House Anti-Corruption Unit and its purposes and whatever.
The man is fight corruption.
Okay,
That's not clearly stipulated. Now, second, as April has said, coming up with many institutions. Of course, I was reading through, the provisions of whatever international agencies, equating organizations that fight corruption in Uganda. One of the biggest challenges that coming up with multiple, as if the existing institutions does not do their constitutional mandates, is a problem. And some of these institutions have done more harm than good. And if not checked, they are actually, undermining the efforts of the existing constitutional institutions.
Maybe you would pose a question that a unit in State House fighting corruption, how does that unit relate to other non-state anti-corruption agencies? When reports come to do with corruption, you will find that there is recently where global anti-corruption was ranked among the best non-state actors in the fight against corruption by the Office of the President, Directorate of Ethics and Integrity. So this one is a directorate under the Office of the President, a directorate, not even a department. Now, this is a unit and a directorate under President's Office and State House. Let's look at these two institutions in the government that are mandated, even the Directorate of Ethics fights corruption. Now, does this unit
coordinates the fight against their supervisors,
the State House Anti-Corruption Unit report to the President? That is true. How about the Directorate of Ethics?
Yes.
That has got a full Minister of Ethics and Integrity.
And they should report to them, but they are suppressing it.
As a coordinating agency of all anti-corruption, including government and non-state. But you'll find this unit, in its mandate, is more powerful than the Directorate of Ethics. Even the IGG, I can tell you, the State House Anti-Corruption Unit seems to be more powerful than the IGG. Yet the IGG, when you read the Constitution of Uganda, it is provided for under a specific article. What is the role of the IGG? To investigate and prosecute. So State House and Corruption Unit, it investigates. Does it prosecute? It's not mandated to prosecute corruption-related cases. No. They will investigate and forward.
To the president.
No. To do with the prosecuting corruption-related cases, they investigate, they don't prosecute.
Yeah, they don't.
So they investigate and forward to
who? Yeah.
To the IGG or the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution.
Because of delays in the IG's office, I think that the anti-corruption unit gets these cases, investigates them, prosecutes them, and concludes them. Because if you take that to the Inspector of Government, where there is already a backlog,
Such a backlog. You see, as citizens, because for us we represent citizens need to know what these institutions are doing every year. What I would expect is really for these institutions to highlight cases investigated, prosecuted, and concluded. Have you ever seen this in Uganda?
But
Why?
okay, regardless of that, Mr. Kama, maybe the viewers, despite the fact that we have all these anti-corruption agencies funded by the taxpayers, have they delivered impactfully to the citizens of Uganda in matters of corruption? The answer is no. Why is the corruption? Uganda is losing 10 trillions every year. World Bank report. Money goes to who? In fact, they are talking about 10 trillions. This financial year, you're going to find 12, 15 trillion. Every year, the increment is ongoing and increasing. And these institutions are there. I think the president, as the appointing authority of all these institutions, should make a review on his appointments. In fact, I'm urging His Excellency Tibuhaburwa Yoweri Kaguta, you're going to be sworn in on the 12th, Tuesday, as the next president of Uganda. In your issues, you are talking about corruption. Corruption should not be talked anymore. Ugandans want to see you biting the corrupt, the big fish. You have small fish. I would have elaborated more on some internal issues, but because of time, next time we shall divulge the issues to do with corruption in detail. So we have got the grand corruption. In fact, you talked about categories of corruption. We have got small corruption going on, yes, everywhere. But we have got grand corruption. Too much money is lost. Money that would go into the health sector, in education sector, is lost completely because of the corrupt. And these corrupt people have got good fathers in the same regime who are there to protect them.
Read your phone.
So we have got asset recovery mechanism under the IGG. How are we going to deal with the issues to do with assets that Ugandans have bought in foreign land, foreign countries? Money is there. Money of assets which has been put in you. Why can't all this illicit? Honorable Betty Kamia, I'm sorry to talk about her, the former IGG. I understand now she's a senior presidential advisor on is it general duties. Now, the question is, she brought lifestyle audit and she launched a program on lifestyle that people should investigate and find out if you own 10 properties, how did you acquire them? Is it commensurate with the income that you earn?
Okay.
What happened?
Kakama, how old is your global anti-corruption initiatives? How old are you?
No, we began in 2020.
This is our 5th year.
Yeah, this is our 5th year, and we lost 2 years of coronavirus pandemic, and we officially we launched our organization in 2023. And we started, of course, handling some cases as an institution that have not yet been funded, have not yet gotten funds to run our activities. And the majority of the cases we got at that particular time was land. As you know, land matters in Uganda is becoming also another problem. We went on, we monitored the activities of the land grabbers and we reported to the Ministry of Ethics and Integrity. By the way, I'm glad that I have gotten this. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. And to tell you that we are working directly in good relationship with the Directorate of Ethics and Integrity, which we report to.
So when
by mandate.
You are an anesthetic.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Who is funding you?
No, our funding, we fund ourselves. How? We use the smaller resources we have. And two, as we help those vulnerable people, they also facilitate us. That is one way of they facilitate us in carrying out our activities. Three, we have well-wishers. People like Ugandans, like Mr. Yourself, touching their whatever and say, please, we appreciate what you are doing, morally and physically. But we have a big challenge of financing. The reason we have tackled few cases. Then last three, we are really patriotic Ugandans. We are sacrificing everything we have to ensure that we reach to those most affected Ugandans. And we have done well on land matters. But the challenge we are facing, wherever we go there, we find that big fishes, big government officials with money and long-serving, historicals in government, they are the ones trying to make sure they make lives of poor Ugandans, grabbing people's properties, facilitating the grabbing of properties, dislodging Ugandans from their lands, legally acquired lands, and then with impunity. And in doing what the little things we are doing, we are being fought by the same people. Then of recent, we tried to I told you from 2023 to 2025, around midday, we were approached and then we decided now to sample grand corruption. Ministries, big institutions, how they utilize and audit for money. Of course, we looked at the Auditor General reports. Then, as a result of being approached by some of these institutions, having seen that we are visible. So, we sampled certain institutions, we wrote to them. After writing to them, others responded. Those that did not respond, we forwarded them to government entities in charge of investigating them. But guess what happens immediately? We saw a lot of negative forces coming to attack us. Sister institutions in the same fight coming to attack us, which is very unfortunate. But all in all, to intimidate us, to silence us, which is very unfortunate. So the fight against corruption in this country, where we have reached, is now coming to do it at your own risk. So we are appealing to the media to join us, or we join them, so that we fight together for the good of our country. Challenges are many. Ugandans live as hostages in their own country. Corruption is increasing. Many players are on stage. Some fighting corruption, some facilitating the processes, exerting powers and suppressing this. The civil societies, by the way, civil societies that are trying to come up, cities that are trying to come up to really contribute towards the elimination of corruption. A very unfortunate condition. Yes.
So you think you have moved a step?
Yeah, we have moved a step, and we are more than ready to proceed. But with, I think, challenges that we need to share with the world, I may say. Help us to ensure that what we are facing as challenges and things affecting the country in terms of corruption, perception, the world should know, so that we don't fight in vain.
Do you know how risky it is to fight corruption in Uganda?
I know.
Do you have children?
I have.
Do you have a family?
I have.
Do you love your family?
Yes.
Are you ready to leave them?
Yeah. Where it necessary. I'm already doing so, in a way.
Apple
Yes, sir.
is Mr. Kakamawe that is trading in a sea of acids.
Yes. In Uganda they say okusabala ebbumba yasabala.
Okusabala ebbumba is it because limenyeka bumenyezi, but you are swimming in a sea of acids. You are swimming, you see a pool there and say, okay, this is whatever, this is acid. You are swimming there. Before you reach your bank, you already burnt out.
In fact, what you are saying is...
Because first of all, you're not working for government.
Yes.
Right? So nobody is funding you. Why would you spend your money to fund, to invest in a risky business where you would lose a life?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I remember His Excellency the President, before he became a president, he worked in other governments of Obote and under Obote's government and UNLF. He decided to go and liberate Uganda as a country, fighting a regime that had money and all these weapons. Him and a few colleagues, 27 of them, according to his mustard seed, undertook a risky venture to go in the war and fight to remove a government that was in power by then. So if all Ugandans say it is a risky venture, we don't care, we have children, how are we leaving these children? First of all, by the way, you can even die even when you're not in the fight against corruption. By the way, even those who may kill those who are fighting the corrupt, they will also go to the same graves and they will be made to be answerable before God. Why did you kill this person as he was doing a good job, fighting for people without a weapon? If someone doesn't have a gun, he has presented facts. Uganda is among the most corrupt countries. Money is swindled by the same people in the government. Not all, but some people in the government are corrupt. That is a fact. And those who are stealing in billions of shillings, this money would be geared towards service delivery, building roads, hospitals, and schools that would benefit generations. Money is taken. Then you expect Mr. Kakama and Nyabongo to come and also keep quiet. We all observe as citizens of Uganda corruption ongoing. So are we leaving a good legacy for the generation to come? So my question is, there are issues beyond where people think they will come and threaten, do what. If people engage you and you know you are corrupt, go to church and pray and say, to the mosque, Katonda nsonyiwa mbadde mubbi tugezereza gavumenti kati tusaba sida mukubba. I think people even confessing.
I think, gentlemen, this is where the puzzle is failing. You're fighting corruption. And you're saying some people and institutions in government are corrupt. But you're working with the Ministry of Ethics and Integrity, which is part of government. Are you saying you're staying with a thief, living with a thief, working with a thief, and expect to fight theft?
Let me put it clear, Mister. I have been in this country for a while, working with, in collaboration. We work directly in relationship to the directorate, but we don't work in the directorate. For us, we are a civil society organization, working independently for the good of the citizens. But of the institutions I have seen in Uganda, I appreciate the Directorate of Ethics and Integrity as a person.
Ethics and Integrity?
Yes. Part of it, the leadership, top leadership. Of course, you see, you cannot have an institution or entirely free from.
Is it a serious docket also?
Yes.
Is it serious?
It is serious.
It is not visible. Who is it?
No, it is limited by its structure. It is only in one building, almost, let's say, 2 floors. So it has few staffs, but its mandate is to coordinate all anti-corruption institutions. And they do it with one heart.
Are they doing that? Kaka, you have just put it right.
Yes, they do it with one heart.
Is to coordinate.
Yes.
Anti-corruption
activities.
Are they coordinating?
Yeah, coordinating.
Are the anti-corruption agencies here coordinating?
Another challenge, let me tell you a challenge. It is an agency in charge of coordinating institutions. But some institutions think they are bigger than this. We have seen this.
They're actually bigger.
Then if
they're bigger.
They are bigger, fine.
They're even outshaping the ethics and integrity.
You are bigger, but you have a supervisor. Respect the supervisor. Others don't even respect the supervisor, which is bad. Now,
maybe the supervisor is weak.
No, one of the challenges the supervisor has is that because the structural arrangement, as I told you,
maybe the supervisor is invisible. Talabika.
No, like for example, the time we have spent working with them, producing our reports to them, interacting with them, we've seen that these people have the will, as we have said. The biggest challenge with our government is the will to fight corruption. Political will. And the thing that have been terrorizing my mind is that every time the president stands to speak, he is very passionate about fighting corruption. Term after term, speech after speech. What is the problem? And he's calling upon we, young people. I'm not young now, I am an old man, but from my young youthhood, I was with Apollo, and I think the same age. The president calling us as citizens, as young people, come and fight corruption. For us one day, we actually came to assist him. But coming, joining the systems, wherever he called, have created us more problems than we expected, unfortunately. Very unfortunate situation. The president is on the television calling, even our children will also be, will also come according to his whatever, calls to come and help, participate in government entities and, policies, institutions, and what. But when you reach there, you find a big challenge. So the directorate is doing a good work to me, but institutions don't really support its mandate and
who is to blame? Who will blame for that?
I think to me,
political heads.
even the directorate itself has issues. Mr. Kamazi was interviewing you. If the Directorate of Ethics and Integrity under the Office of the President coordinates all anti-corruption agencies,
yes,
including the civil society agencies and the state agencies, are they known as a directorate? Do citizens know there is an existing directorate?
that's where my challenge. I was asking, do the citizens know?
In fact, the citizens,
this one supervises this one.
The citizens know more about State House.
IGG.
A little bit about State House.
Has been overshadowed.
Hey.
About corruption in Uganda, the inspector has been overshadowed. When you talk about
Exactly.
corruption, people now about the
State
anti-corruption unit, State House anti-corruption unit. Why? Because I think
Of media coverage.
that also could be.
Yes,
Media coverage.
They have the media, they have the budget. I think they are heavily funded.
Of course.
There are very few staff.
Not more funded than the
The IGG.
If you looked at the
But
IGG budget,
structure of
with the
IGG.
structure of IGG countrywide, with regional
Countrywide,
offices,
yeah. They also emerge as the Directorate of Ethics. Their office is small.
they have asked for budgetary increment to Parliament, but you talk to them, I've engaged some IGG officials who are complaining about the budgetary
Underfunding.
constraints, the underfunding of the agency, and even the DPP. So, by the way, someone was telling me, why has it taken NRM party
40 years.
40 years down the road without the
Increasing
headquarters?
salaries.
No, without the headquarters, built headquarters as a party to run party activities. Yet, new parties have come recently, they have headquarters. So what we are saying, do you think the NRM party lacks money with all these members of parliament contributing their funding to the party? The issue is they don't have the will to build the party structure.
No,
It's not there.
The server line, the priorities of the server line are not the party headquarters.
Then,
There's not to deal with.
fine, let's
Institutions.
leave politics.
It's not politics.
Because
We're saying, is it in any way related to corruption?
It will be
Now-
no, what I'm saying, when you read the NRM manifesto, by the way, Mr. Kama and the viewers and Mr. Moyanja, the first entity to talk about in this country in matters of governance should be the party, the ruling party or the NRM. But what is government implementing is a party manifesto.
True that.
So Museveni stood and told Ugandans, this is my manifesto, and the theme is
It is not even his, it's the party manifesto.
And
the party presented him, and this is our mandate.
flag
Who
up.
can implement this?
And the theme of of the NRM manifesto is protecting the gains. The cabinet will take on the party manifesto and make programs of government and make bills and then forward them to parliament. So how government works, a party that has been in power, failing to build a party headquarter for 40 years is a mistake to the party itself, even to the followers of NRM as a party. How do you belong to an entity that if Museveni leaves the party today, in fact, even UPC would be stronger than NRM because they have where they can take their team.
NRM has the money,
Yes.
the land to build the party headquarters.
Why is it
But
not
the
built?
priority is not that.
So,
It is not to
how does the party front
We are winning elections without party
without a
headquarters.
party? How about
What
if-
are those parties with headquarters winning?
So my question is, I think we would be copying from the Chama Pinduzi, the Kano, these other parties in other countries that have built the structuring, even the district offices. Today I've been reading, let me tell you for your information, in this newspaper, what the NRM flag bearers contributed. They have gotten the money, Secretary General Todong saying, part of that money they want to build the party headquarters.
Progress.
So I think they have listened to the cries of the party members saying, no, we must have a headquarter.
Let's go.
But after 40 years,
Because
now,
I want to wind up now. Who do you work for? As a private citizen?
No, before we go there, let me add something, then I conclude with that. Now, corruption, the biggest challenge for the country. What are the triggers of corruption? Why is the country corrupt? So many factors, seen and unseen. When you look at our country's salary structure,
as we wind up.
Yes, look at a policeman, look at a teacher, look at a nurse, look at the local government, vis-a-vis the inflation, cost of living. Now let's take an example of a policeman. This is a young man who have graduated. Due to lack of employment, he went to police. How much does a police officer earn?
As of today?
Yes.
Roughly $1 million shillings.
No.
I don't think so.
The minimum, these private police officers are earning 450,000.
Yes, 450,000. This is a
Graduate.
graduate.
Check that.
Constables, police
I can't believe
constables.
it.
There's
but
no problem.
But it can't be. I believe it. It's not
Yes,
less than
even if it
How
is.
survive on 400,000?
Yes, now that's where I'm coming. That's where I'm coming. This is a police officer, a son of someone. He has his parents who educated him. He has siblings to take care. He also wants a good life. He's actually projecting a better future. He wants to marry. The salary is 450. Surely, are we going to fight corruption and actually reduce corruption under such a situation? And you wonder why? Why? Why are Ugandans punished in terms of remuneration? What went wrong? Look at our oil. What is the man of oil doing for this country? Leave that one. Minerals. Do we have accountability for the minerals that Uganda has? How much money? We are accountability. We are there. No, of course, where are our minerals? Who is mining them, and how much are we getting from the minerals?
Tell us.
We are doing it. We are starting with you.
Come and be shot. Go to minerals, you'll be shot.
Yeah, you are right.
But I come from
You are right. That's the reason we haven't gone there.
That's
That's why we haven't gone there. That's why we haven't gone there.
No, but
You
we
see?
have to.
Yeah, we shall.
Because if you're dealing with corruption,
Of course.
you cannot
Of
say, I come from a mineral-rich region, sub-region of Bonyoro. Oil you're talking about, and some other minerals. As a region, those people are talking about federalism. By the way, I'm a strong advocate of federal system of governance.
Next time, we'll debate that.
We shall discuss that later.
I'm with you, but we'll debate that next time.
Now,
So-
you asked us a question because of time, Mr. Kakama.
As we
Who
go.
do we work
For
for as global anti-corruption?
Mukorerani.
The
Work
answer
for the
is
citizens.
we work for Ugandans.
And
We
citizens.
work for the.
Ani abasasula.
Nobody pays us. By the way, let me tell you, I'm a businessman who is running some small businesses in a small way. It doesn't make me lose anything if I sacrifice my 10,000 to come on a border to this studio for the sake of Uganda. Because where am I going to leave my
Fight
job?
the wealthy. Fight. You're coming to, because what you're speaking now is like you're fighting people who have.
The people have stolen. They have illicit wealth from taxpayers' money. Why can't these people account for how they gotten this wealth?
Now, wait. Now, I talked about the issue of salaries. Ugandans, we have to look at the remuneration of people, employment. Yes, employment. Then again, after employment, we have talked about our minerals, accountability of the minerals and other, resources. Of recent, Ugandans are really mad and in support of one of the young leaders in Burkina Faso.
Traore is one of those great ones.
He's the biggest. You look at Traore, the man who have taken over a country that have been poor, the poorest, but full of
Rich of minerals.
Now, Uganda is not a poor country. Why are Ugandans suffering? Great leader, I'm sorry, my leader, because he's the president. What went wrong?
What has Museveni done in fighting corruption?
That is a
no.
future, whatever to debate.
When we meet next time with Moses Kakama, the executive director of the Global Anti-Corruption Initiative, Apollo Nyabongo, the corporation secretary of the same organization, on this topic. It's just the beginning.
Yes.
When we meet next time, we'll now have to debate what has Museveni done and what hasn't he done about the fight of corruption.
Yes.
Where is the problem? Thank you for watching the SL News UK. I'm Sir Simon Muyanga Lutaya.
Thank you.
Yeah. Legally, the interpretation of the word corruption, anybody would define it in his own or her own way. But literally,